What is up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Shatter the Script podcast, and we are back. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. He has risen.
He has risen. Well, I'm your host, Jared Main. I'm joined by my other host,
Hunter Poole. Nice to meet y'all.
What's going on, everybody? A lot of stuff has happened, I guess. March Madness is still going on, right? And then you got the Rashee Rice scenario. We've been kind of talking about that all day because it's developing news right now in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, he's wanted too. And, it was funny. I was having a conversation with my boy at work, and I was like, with the Chiefs, they just got Rashee Rice, they got Hollywood Brown. It was literally yesterday, this morning, wake up, and it's like he's wanted by police for street racing. It's like, man, those guys in the AFC West, those wide receivers, damn, like, what are they doing? Good over there?
Yeah, I'm just getting repositioned. Yeah. And it's tragic, it's a 6-car accident, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, 2 people were sent to the hospital, and now Rashee Rice is on the move.
Oh,
I'm not talking about free agency. I'm talking from the cops.
Yeah, he's GTA level. He's 4 stars in GTA right now.
4 stars. You can get 4 stars in GTA for hitting a cop car. You can kill about 500 civilians on GTA. They'll give you like a star and a half.
Have you ever seen those mods on GTA where they role play as cops or whatever?
I have not seen that.
Yeah, they role play as cops, and they'll do the full we got a 1086 19er down on Boulevard Road. We got he's going 50 miles an hour over the speed limit, and they'll pull him over. And the video I've seen, our audience has probably seen similar videos. Is he pulls over, and the guy that he pulls over steps out of the car, and it's like a baby, and he's like, "The hell? It's a baby." He's like, "It's a baby."
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And the baby pulls out a gun, and he has to. Yeah.
I think the most interesting people on GTA to watch is T Grizzly,
the
rapper. Yeah, he's like, "Give me your money, motherfucker." I said, "Give me your money."
Yeah.
I'll bang you right.
Yeah.
Shoot him.
My little brother listens to this one guy. He's a white. I don't know what he is, but he talks like a white guy, and he's a white guy in the game. But he says
Barack Obama.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, but he says all the slurs or whatever, without heart, obviously. But what I'm saying is he does it for entertainment, and he trolls people in the game. Do with that what you will, but I don't like that kind of content, but. It's funny. It's funny. But
let's get into some action. Sorry about the GTA talk. Obviously, we like to play video games.
Yeah, we're waiting for the GTA 6 to come out. So
yeah, we'll have kids by then. Maybe even a girlfriend.
Yeah. You know what? And maybe we will. Maybe we will have a girlfriend by then. I'm not sure that we will, but
knowing us, we're gonna be probably single. Hopefully we don't live together forever. It's it's always a nice journey, but yeah, we'll probably be single for a minute.
Yeah, but Easter was good. Nice weather out here in Texas. It was it was fun to see all the family and everything. I know you were working. But
my family's having a good time all in Corpus Christi. They're hanging out with the grandkids, and
yeah, I'm
assuming they're all hanging out. And then you got me just thugging it out here in Houston, Go to work. We got toasted yolk this morning. That was pretty good.
That was pretty solid.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Had me a breakfast burrito, my fat ass, And, yeah, at least I get to spend time with, my brother on Easter.
Yeah. Yeah, family against family, you know what I mean? Yeah. Two brothers.
How was Easter, though, being the... only one without kids or in a relationship? How was that?
Yeah, it was fantastic actually. Now, thanks for asking. You get to watch everyone operate in a different way, and it's always kind of like the fun uncle, you're just kind of he's the guy that's gonna crack some jokes. And have you ever seen the movie? I think it's called The Change Up.
The Change Up.
Yeah,
that's with
Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. I'm basically without all the stuff that he does in the movie, off to the side with the drugs, but he's the fun uncle kind of guy. He always brings energy when he's coming into the family hangouts or whatever. So yeah, that's my role, and the kids and the babies, they're all, walking up to me and I'm playing with them with their toys and everything like that. Like, that's fun. It's fun to me. But
makes you want to be a dad, huh?
Yeah, well, you miss it even more when you see all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh yeah, this is great. And, the family pictures. Oh, can you take a picture of us? Absolutely. For the 7th year in a row. Absolutely, I can take a picture for you guys.
So I'm guessing you're the fun uncle, the single one. I guess I'm like the cool uncle.
Well, you've got a sister that has kids and everything too.
3 kids.
3 kids.
Yeah, 4, almost 2, and shit, like 7 months. She's crawling now.
She's crawling. Army crawl. Yeah.
Yeah, she's crawling, and my parents, they always acted like they hated raising kids, or like, oh man, we don't want no more kids. And then, before my sister had grandkids, I remember my parents were at the beach, and there's like this guy. He was in like this bike. I don't know how to explain it, but like the kid was in the back, and my dad's like, "Man, that'd be really cool to have." And my mom's like, "You don't even want kids."
Yeah.
Now the grandkids have made them a little bit softer. They're not as it's not like a military school in the house anymore. They're really soft, and yeah. I mean, I want to be a dad someday, but shit, I gotta find a girl first before I do that.
Yeah, and that's the real side of it, I guess. I mean, like, it's like a fine line between, like, you shouldn't go out and be like going out of your way to like search for one, but one might show up on your front doorstep, metaphorically, and just be like, oh, God placed this woman in my life. Boom, I'm happy.
I thought you were talking about a kid. I was thinking like Harry Potter or something.
No. Like, if a kid wound up in your, like, this isn't DreamWorks or Pixar, but.
What would you do if there was I guess you couldn't even take care of it. It's not a movie, like you said. You can't even if a 3-year-old kid comes up to your thing and you're like, doesn't have a family. It's like, oh, I'll take care of it. Next thing you know, you're charged for kidnapping, and you're like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah. Next thing you know, the what's his name? Chris Hansen shows up and he goes, what are your intentions? And it's just like,
yeah, like, damn, getting charged for kidnapping. I was just trying to help
Yeah. What would you do? What is that series where I'm John Keona? That's what it is. Hi, I'm John Keona, but what would you do? And you're like, oh shit. I just threw this baby in a dumpster and moved on. But if it's a dog, and it's a little puppy that you left in a little blanket in a little basket, outside of your front door, and you're like, what is that barking? You're sitting here cussing at March Madness because your bets are falling apart, or, Shohei Ohtani, took the under and you took the over.
Right.
You open the door and there's a beautiful black lab, and all that says on the note is takes one to know one. I mean, are you taking that dog, or are you bringing it to a shelter? I mean, I know one recipient that would love the dog, my sister-in-law, but just to troll her, I think I would just keep it for myself.
Yeah, it sucks to be. I mean, I don't have time to have a dog right now, and we live it sucks because we live in an apartment, man. It's like, let's just say realistically, like, I think we should get a cat. I think a cat would be funny to have. Just having a cat, because a cat, we'll keep the litter box outside. Just a cat just kind of doing its thing all day. And
you just leave the door. Well, if we leave, a cat can go anywhere. Like, if we got a patio out here, the cat will just probably jump off the patio.
We'll probably kill the birds right there making the nest.
Yeah, I mean, we got, by the way, you probably hear it in the background at some point. We got a nest of birds on our back patio, and I've already squashed it once, but they're out there and, and I went out there with the air horn the other day and just, but yeah, no. Also, big Rocket League guys, the Copenhagen Major is playing today. We don't know any of the players, but, good luck to all the Copenhagen participants. When I think of Copenhagen, I think of, obviously, tobacco dip. Do you know is there anybody in your life that can't live without tobacco Copenhagen? Can't do it. I mean, you're from that neck of the woods, and so am I. I've got roots from East Texas out there. All they do is spit. Pause.
Let's see. Well, back in the day, I would say, there's a couple guys in my clique. Now, they all switched over to the Zen.
Yeah. The good old. We're marketing right now for Zen without a sponsorship, but Zen, 6 milligrams. You can tuck it anywhere in your mouth. No homo. Every man approves of it. Plus, you can make up cool nicknames for it, like Tucker Carlson, Lyndon B. Johnson, Zimbabwe, stuff like that. If you have any fun nicknames, you're welcome to share. But these, at least 3 packs a week, and it's just zen,
Man, I just love some zen, man. That's all I can say. Even having a couple of zins in, it's making me zen. I feel very just laid back, just ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, we're pretty zen today. We're pretty laid back.
I will say this. Let's start talking a little bit of sports.
I was ready to go.
Let's talk some sports. We had a little bit of a debate. Most of us.
Yeah.
Most of the audience, they hear us talk about football. Let me ask you this. Michael Jordan in today's NBA, is he going to average 50 points a game?
So, a lot of people like to think that way. A lot of people like to think, oh, you take your best ball players from the 90s and put them in today's game. Will they average more? And a guy like, of course, the greatest of all time of that generation, Michael Jordan, is he going to average 50? Here's how I look at this whole thing. Obviously, LeBron, Jordan, go to one era, go to the other. That's how I look at it. When you take a basketball player like Michael Jordan and throw him into the fire in the new generation, in my opinion, I think of it from a realistic standpoint. You got to think, with all of the new metrics and training and progression of the game, the talent index has skyrocketed in the game of basketball and football. I think baseball is still kind of the same. There's only one way to play it, but you got to put Michael Jordan through that process if you're going to apply him to the new age of basketball. Does that mean he averages 50 points? Hell no. That makes no sense. So if we're all that believe in that, I don't think that that's valid. But if you're going to say, is Michael Jordan a better ball player in today's world than he is in the 90s? 100%, I believe so, yes, because the training and the progression and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we already seen the MJ of today's time. His name is DeMar DeRozan.
Or Anthony Edwards. A lot of people are saying that he's playing. If y'all are unfamiliar with him, he's on the Timberwolves.
The thing about these, MJ fans, especially the older heads, and you got people of our generation who are MJ this, MJ that. The thing about it, I saw this report. When MJ came out, he had a 44-inch vertical, right? And somehow, some way, his vertical went skyrocketed. 6 inches, 7 inches, bigger. But there's no actual proof of it happening. People are just, it's a myth legend. It's like, oh man, I remember Bobby back in the day, man, I kid you not, the whole team would be on his back and he'd be running the football and doing this. And it's like, this narrative, the only way to actually see MJ being the greatest is, they take like these highlights, they kind of slow them down a little bit. But in today's game, he was the most athletic at his time. But now not everybody, if you're not, 6'7" can shoot the ball, you can't,
You're in the G League.
You have to be able to shoot.
Yeah.
MJ was never the best shooter, 3-point shooter. Of course, it wasn't, it's not that he couldn't shoot threes, but it's not like he could have trained threes. If you're like, okay, I can get to the basket. Imagine if I just work on my 3-point game. That's what LeBron did. LeBron's like, shit, he's like, I can get to the basket. My jumper's like, my 3-point shot's Let me hit some mid-range. Let me do this. So next thing you know, he's training when the game starts to change, he's going for it. And you think about it, it's like, Larry Bird could shoot threes, all this stuff. And Larry Bird, I'm pretty sure Draymond Green has more 3-pointers made than Larry Bird.
Which is a crazy stat. Which kind of goes to my point of why it's progressed the way it's progressed. Like, you got teams in the NBA in the modern day scoring like 140 points like once or twice a week, and that's, a rough average. But like I said, the talent index has skyrocketed. So you take a guy like Michael Jordan, you apply him to the new age, you're applying him to all of that as well. But also, to another point is a player is only stuck in his own time. You can't. It's because obviously, we're playing with hypotheticals here, but Michael Jordan was limited to his time of 90s basketball. This is the way we do it. This is the way we run our offense, and this is the way we play defense. This is the team. This is our vision of a super team. And it wasn't until after Jordan that in my opinion, that super teams started to become kind of more and more progressively common, like Kobe and Shaq. That was a little after Jordan. And then that moved to, Paul Pierce, like the first big trio, Rajon Rondo, Kevin Garnett. They win a championship. After that, it becomes LeBron, D. Wade, Chris Bosh, and, Kevin Spoelstra, that head coach. So, but to my point, like Michael Jordan's held to his time. Like he's in the 90s. He can't transport himself into the 2023 basketball league and have all the media attention that he does. He is the one, and that's where they made a movie about it, that kind of started. That's when television and media and radio just skyrocketed right around 2000. So he was right before that era. And I think times would have been different if he was later on, but he can't help his timing. Just like John Elway, he's got a rocket arm. We go back and watch the archives, and it's only his highlights, right? We've never seen. I can't evaluate John Elway's play. The only thing I can say about him is he has a rocket arm. You put him in today's NFL, not running a pro style offense, running a majority of the time. Where a good stat back then is like 20 of 27, 230 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. But you throw him in today's NFL where everything has changed. You can put running backs at receiver, motion them back, the pre-motion snap, the analytics, the metrics, the different schemes. There's about 70 billion of them. Dude, he might be throwing for 5,000 yards a year. It's a hypotheticals. But let's flip it now, and we'll go to like LeBron. Like LeBron in today's age, obviously the greatest of his era right now. He's at 40K points. He's about to be at 11K assists and rebounds. Like one of the greatest statistical players of all time, where he is. And a lot of people flip that back and say, all right, we'll put LeBron, in the 90s and the defense clamps him or whatever. But you had a good point about, like, you were talking about his size and how, his player comparison from the 90s, and you had a name for that. I'll let you go into it. But yeah, talk about your point on that with LeBron going back to the 90s.
Yeah, so it's 80s and 90s. So let's just put this in perspective. Karl Malone has the 3rd most points ever. He's behind LeBron and he's behind Kareem. Karl Malone is 6'9", 240, played down low. He didn't have he couldn't pass the ball like LeBron. He couldn't, shoot the ball like LeBron. And he's 6'9", 240. LeBron, 6'9", and he plays about 250, 260. We've seen him play about 270. Athletic, plays above the rim, can shoot the ball. Somehow, Karl Malone in the 80s and 90s, who is LeBron's, let's just say, size comp, averaged 30 points a year in the 80s and 90s, won 2 MVPs. But somehow, some way, LeBron couldn't go back in time with his size and just could not handle it. He's just not strong enough. I think that's bullshit. If you want to, do some hypotheticals, if Karl Malone, who averaged 30 with his size, and he wasn't running full court, full speed at you, here comes LeBron, who's bigger than him, maybe even the same size, can go change speed of direction, can go full court. He's 39 years old. He can still do it. You put LeBron, 26 years old, in the 80s and 90s. I'm just saying, we have a guy that's his size without his athleticism, averaging 30. I'm not going to say what he would average, but I'll let the free will thinkers think about that. But put that in perspective of someone his size without his athleticism in the 80s and 90s. And if you're going to tell me Karl Malone is tougher than someone like LeBron, people think, oh, LeBron,
flopping was big back in the day. That was the biggest complaint, I feel like. It was like, oh, he's a baby. People hate greatness, though.
Yeah, but the thing about it, like, with someone like LeBron, he might complain a lot, but he doesn't get a lot of calls like people think. He's getting clobbered the whole time, and it's like... it's not like maybe like an 80s or 90s foul, but it's still a foul. I mean, for all you people who complain, you guys do pickup. You probably call more fouls than anybody when you go play pickup.
Right. Especially when things aren't going your way.
Yeah, and when I play pickup, I don't call shit.
That is true. That is true. I don't want you to lose your point here, but dude, I remember watching you in College Station. I'm not a pickup basketball guy. Like, I can play, but I don't like, getting down and dirty. I don't have the skills or whatever to go in there and, but he's about that. He's about it. So he goes in there and, bro, they're ISO, yeah, only white boy, just ISO. And, Hunter's like, all right, let's get it. And, you're getting fouled hard. And they're like, bro, call foul. And he's like, no. You gotta earn your respect, bro. It's like Adam Sandler from The Longest Yard, that's traveling, bitch. Just sitting there. Well, we didn't get the whole Hershey bar, but we got a Hershey's Kiss.
It's
the same thing. You gotta have a bloody nose before you can call foul.
People are gonna, like, oh, all he does is call fouls. It's like, okay, you think that's soft, and when you're playing pickup, don't be calling shit. Like,
yeah, because if you called a foul the first time, it's white boy calling a foul, of course.
I'm like, bro, I was like, okay, you want to ISO me? I'm like, go ahead, clamped him up.
Yeah, we don't want to try and profile either.
Stole the ball, and then he's like, foul, and because he's on the floor because he tried to shimmy God me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not the one, bro. You gotta go shimmy God someone else. I ain't the one.
Yeah, and one thing about you is you are a chirper. Like if you are not on Hunter's team, you absolutely despise and hate him. If you've ever seen those memes where it's like me and bro going, round for round in the octagon, and it's, Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, pacing each other before the fight, and it's like, would you fight your bro, to overcome some different challenge or accusation or whatever. Like when me and you are on different teams, and we used to play like, flag football, pickup football out there, dude, it was on. It was like, all right, switch on offense. We'll switch the teams up. Hunter's first pick, I'm second pick, or vice versa, or whatever. Immediately, all right, you're gonna play receiver, and I'm be like, I got Hunter, and then we're locked down or whatever. And he had a sick route, and you had a sick route that you pulled on me, and we were working. A lot of people were kind of lollygagging. We were, and you catch this crosser. It was one-handed. You catch this crosser one-handed, and I tag you two hands right after the catch. And as you're walking by, I real quietly was like, yeah, that was pretty good. And and you're like, yeah, appreciate it. I flip over back to offense, and I'm, trying to chop and whatever. I did kind of like a hook route, and I chopped it, faked the hook because I knew you were gonna bite, and you bit, and I pivoted and went out towards the sideline and caught it, and then. As I'm walking back, you go, yeah, that was good shit. So mutual respect, but me and you were highly competitive dudes.
It's all about the chirping, man. I mean, I talk a lot of shit, but I like to back it up. I don't get personal, but I'm gonna let you know, like I'm the type of dude with anything, even playing. It could be playing trash can ball. It can be cleaning dishes. Like I'm gonna be chirping. Like that's just what I do. And it's I'm not gonna take personal shots. I'm gonna talk about your mama. I mean, I did that.
It's me and you. That's it.
I mean, there was times when I was playing ball in high school, and so here comes this guy a little chirping. I'm like, is that your ugly ass girlfriend and mom in the stands right now, right there? I know that shows parents. Like, I mean, I was. Yeah. And then next thing you know, one time after a game, I'm chirping. This dude's chirping. We win. I'm just, good game. I already forget about it. Once the game's over, I forget about everything. Boom, boom. All I feel is like, pink, popped. But then the dude hit me so weak where I didn't even realize I got hit. Clocked me, and next thing you know, I don't even know what's going on because I didn't drop. I got a strong chin. I'm like, damn, I really just got popped in the face. But I'm like, is that your ugly girlfriend right there? Like, I'm about to message her just for shits and gigs. Like, like man, I just.
Well, to go back to like. The point is like if you are talking mad, shop talk, like if you're smack talking heavy and you can't back it up, you're the worst kind of player. Even the players that are on your team don't like playing with you. But if you can back it up, your teammates protect you like none other because you're like, if he's on that other team, I freaking despise him. I want to punch him after the game or whatever. That competitive drive, it goes back to another story that me and you have, which we have 1,000 of them, but we're out there drinking it. We're in College Station. We go to after the bars to someone else's house in the neighborhood, right? No basketball, no trash, like no crumbled up paper, nothing. Me and this dude are going at it one-on-one with an invisible basketball, and we're using the top of the gutter for the basket. Dude. That was like it was so much fun, but two, we were like, and getting in there,
weak ass boy.
Yeah, weak ass. That was terrible. I was like, blah blah blah. That's a goal. That's a shot, man. It's like, yeah, well, my hand was in your face. Blah blah blah. And I remember some girls walked out, and they were like,
That's hot.
yeah, they were like, damn, they're hot. But they're like, what the hell are y'all doing? And we're like, oh, we're playing 1v1 basketball. And they're like, oh, you guys didn't want to come in there and drink? I said, job's not finished. You know, is the job finished? No, I didn't think so. Me and you started a battle that we didn't get to finish. You know, and that's just how we are. I mean, we used to walk into rooms and it'd get quiet because they're like, oh shit, it's the Rook and the Kid. And I'm not kidding. And I'm not trying to like boast about it, but they knew we meant business wherever we were at. We meant business.
What's the best thing? What is the kind of the best way for men to bond? Is it two bros talking shit, being competitive, or is it just a nice zen kind of game on like a Rocket League game? Kind of just talking, maybe a little bit of feelings, because women probably don't realize that. Men sometimes when you're in an Xbox party, you see all the competitiveness, you see maybe them singing like some random song.
Yeah, like some Katy Perry type shit.
But sometimes it gets a little real in there.
Yeah.
It gets a little real, you know, it's a little
definitely
dark room.
Yeah.
Maybe have a little bit of Zen music, like I Can Still Make Cheyenne or something.
Yeah, a little George Strait.
A little George Strait, and then it's like, man, she's really never coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it just gets all sad, and then it's like, everyone's like, nah, man, it's all good, man. And then next thing you know, it's like, it's all good, man. Holy shit, I just hit a clip!
Oh shit, a fucking aerial! Yeah. Dude, so to answer your question, the best one is after midnight. And, you know, let's say you have a party of 6 people. And I'm speaking from personal experience here. It's after midnight. And, you know, you got that one guy that's got a girlfriend and say, hey, I got to get off and get on FaceTime. You got the other guy saying, hey, I got to get up early tomorrow. I'm going out of town. Got it. Now there's only 3. One guy says, oh, man, I'm getting crapped on. I'm going to get off. Then there's only 2 guys in there. And it's just you and your bro. And it's the 2 guys. You've seen the memes all over the place. It's the 2 guys that stay behind and they just throw on some Zen, like a Zen Rocket League or, little zombies action on Call of Duty, whatever game you want to choose. And it just gets real. And you're just like, yeah, man, this is what I want in life. This is the kind of girl I want. I want to be a father. Think about, back in the day, man, when I was in high school, you talk about your high school ball playing days. And you're like, man, I miss this. I miss playing football. And it gets deep. And you just kind of go back and forth and, you listen to the other guy. And that's how you really get to know your friends. And I have a unique story about, there's 2 young gentlemen, little toucans, we like to call them, little muffin tops that, I was in East Texas, playing JUCO ball, and my brother was in Sam Houston. And through a mutual friend, these 2 goobers come on, and we started playing Call of Duty 2019, MW. I've never met these guys before. We just started playing Xbox every single night. To fast forward to now, this was, right before COVID. So we go through the COVID gaming together. Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty 2019, all of it. And then fast forward to 2024, we're best friends. Both those guys, really close to them. Great group of guys. They care, they care about what you think, what you say. That was through Xbox. And so, parents can, say, get off the game, go do something productive. There ain't nothing productive to do at 11 o'clock. I mean, yeah, sure, you can do the inside trading, if you want. If you want to be that kind of guy, you can sign up to Hustlers University. Who cares? But, men's mental health has taken a toll in the new age. And so one way to not waste all your money on a therapist, which in my opinion is useless, because all they, to your point, you said they just want to keep you there and kind of money grab you. Dude, that's therapy. That's a man's therapy, is, late nights, playing on the weekends, after work every night, and just hey, let's just play with the boys. Let's have fun. I haven't laughed like this in forever. Like we talked about in the last pod, right after the breakup, first thing I did, go to Xbox. So what would you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those things where it's, sometimes, especially with being with video games, you can't always, like in high school or even in college, you can get away with, yeah, maybe if you don't play games with this person, you don't talk to them that day, you'll see them that week anyway. Everyone's in the same town, but then when everyone kind of starts doing their own thing, everyone's kind of starts to get a little busy, work, families, any things like that, it's busy, but it's those few days of the week where everyone's just let's get on, let's play some games. take 2 hours out of your day, catch up. Next thing you know, maybe it's a Friday, Saturday night. Everyone can stay up a little bit later. And then it's just about the, just kind of catching up, and you never realize, like, damn. Especially when it's just y'all two, and it's like, damn, this is my dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we just went from, we just got shitted on in Search and Destroy. Now we're just kind of
laughing it off.
Kind of just, talking. Next thing you know, it's like, man, I have this job, it's killing me. Or, man, I went on this date and went like shit. I can't figure things out, but, I come here and I'm having a good time. Like, what do you think? And just going back and forth, it's like you said, it's like a mental health thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, just finding sometimes it is a lot easier to talk over the mic to guys that are like right now, because a lot of the guys don't like to just kind of talk about shit, like not man to man, but get vulnerable in front of another man. It's a lot easier over a mic,
right?
Especially if they're like 3 hours away. It's just like, I know you're not going to tell anybody. We don't really have mutual friends in the same city to kind of tell. So then you're like, you kind of can just get shit off your chest. You feel better, and you're like, damn, like, I feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you get off and you stare at your ceiling fan, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, you go to bed listening to some Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, good thing is though, like, with me, I try to find positivity in a lot of things. I try not to get down. And I'm not like perfect, I get down, I get sad, but I try, especially with having my job where I work 9 to 7, 5-6 days a week. I'm like, man, I could be upset about something, but I'm like, as soon as I walk inside that door, I'm like, I just gotta go.
Yeah.
If I'm sad, happy, motivated, all that, I'm gonna do the same thing every single day. I'm gonna attack it the same way. It's discipline. Discipline is the biggest thing. Because if you're motivated, if you can only do things when you're motivated, then you're fucked.
Yeah, you suffer,
But if you can do the same shit, if you're, no matter what you feel like, and you can just keep doing those things, you'll see it's discipline.
Yeah.
Fuck, my fucking tire blew out this morning. Or, fuck, I broke my leg. I did this, just kind of, and then you're like, I don't feel motivated or something. Yeah. And then, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do what I have to do no matter what. I don't care how I feel. I don't care what's going on. Discipline, discipline, discipline. And then once you get to that feeling, once you're disciplined with anything, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be.
Yeah, eating, working out.
It could be making your bed every day.
Yeah, reading the Bible in the mornings or at night, doing a devotional.
Yeah, it's all about just being disciplined. You can't, if you let your emotions or how you feel affect what you do and what you're supposed to do, then you're fried. Because then it's, how are you supposed to get anything done in those bad days? And that's how, when those bad days, they might not be bad days, but if you still did the things, you'll feel a lot better. Yeah. I'm having a shit day.
You'll see the results come in too. You'll see the results. I mean, we talked about it in the last pod, like the progression of our physical attributes, our confidence, it all escalated because we started really grinding on discipline. And what did it do? It spread towards others. Do we need a thanks for that? No. But it spread towards others to make them want to eat better, lose weight, start fasting, whatever, and do this motion that creates positivity. And, you hear the sayings a lot of times like control the controllables or don't sweat the small stuff. Man, that is so real. That is relatable because, like you said, I got a flat tire, or whatever. I'm going to be late for work this morning. Or I was stuck in traffic and this dude behind me is going 70, runs up a wall, almost get hit. Don't sweat the small. I dodged it. Time to go to work. And time to clock in. And the best way for discipline to work is, in my opinion, if you're going to take my advice, is continue to make yourself stay busy. Find something to do. Go do something you haven't done before. Go hit a couple golf balls. You want to go get good at something that you've never tried before. You have a hobby that you want to get good at. You want to draw pictures. You want to, create an offensive playbook from a notebook just because that's something you're passionate about. Go do it. You want to start a podcast? Go do it. And a lot of people say they want to do it. Just do it. That's like the Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. When we realize that's not a meme anymore. That was for real. What yesterday you said tomorrow. Well, now it's today. Let's go. And, idle time is the devil's playground. That is something my dad dropped on me a long time ago. If you're going to dwell on things, it is the devil's playground. He gets in your head. You start making up scenarios. You start getting in your own head about things, about who you are as a person. But once you're active, dude, as men, we don't think from an emotional standpoint. We think from kind of an objective standpoint. What do I have to do for the day? I'm going to get these things done. And when I get them done, I'm going to feel proud of myself. I got that 30-minute workout in. I'm not feeling great today. I got a cough. I got stuffed up nose. But I got a 30-minute workout in today, and I sweat a little bit, and I got into the sauna. Or I was so beat, tired, I got a fever, but I made it to the sauna and sat in there and sweated out for 20 minutes, and then I came home and finished my homework, or, made a couple sales calls, that sort of thing. Get something done.
I mean, a big thing that it's not that, when you really lack confidence, when you don't have confidence in yourself, it's because you're comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
So when you start kind of comparing yourself, they're not on the same trajectory as you are.
Yeah, they're not on the same timing.
So just because this person, once you start kind of trying to compare, and I'm not saying you can't look up to people or that, but if you start comparing yourself to, other people that might seem like they have it more, so they might actually do have it more figured out, but they might not. Once you start comparing yourself, you lose confidence. You don't have confidence and you don't want to do things. It's like a chain of events. And the one thing that I always try to do, this is my biggest thing that I work on every single day, is I don't try to have envy for anybody. Yeah. I think envy is the biggest destroyer for any kind of relationship, any kind of, every kind of negative thing that can happen. It can be, the centerpiece can be envy. And that's why I really don't hate anybody. I don't, I can get mad at somebody, but I just don't have envy. And I think at the end of the day, life is a little too short to have that envy towards people. Even when, let's just say I go through a bad friendship, not friends anymore, or even if a bad breakup or stop talking to someone, I don't have envy towards that person. At the end of the day, it's, they made a decision, I made a decision. There's no envy, because if I just carry around all this envy, which is, you're going to have envy. It's you can't just get rid of it. But what I work on every day is, I can't have that envy. Yeah. If I envy people, one, I'm going to hate myself, because, especially, that's why I don't like to try to belittle people. I crack jokes, but at the end of the day, if you get rid of that envy, your life will actually feel better. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to do it from a spiritual level, or, that's always a good thing too, is we're Christian. I'm not saying you have to be a Christian, but at least believe in something that makes you, not do all these, think about your actions. So with this envy, that envy's just, it's a killer, man. It really does. It kills you on the inside, whether you want to admit it or not. If you have envy, and you don't know how to control it, it's really gonna catch up to you.
And a prayer that I always pray, and it's a personal one, but you can use it in your own life as well, is I always say, God, help me to be calm, cool, and collected, and confident in uncomfortable situations. And I remember I was praying that prayer every single night. It was just routine. It's kind of like, let this food be, nourishing for our bodies, that sort of thing. You want to bless the food. It's kind of like your thing. It was my Lord's Prayer. And so I remember I got the flu for the first time in my life last year during the fall. And I was miserable. I was sweating it out, and I was in the shower for 20 minutes. And I remember sitting there, and I was just I started laughing, because I was like, this is exactly what I prayed about. I'm calm, cool, collected, and confident. I'm uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable in this situation right now, but I just started laughing, because I was like, oh, God's got it. God's got it. Don't sweat the small stuff. You're sick, whatever. You might be missing work. You want to improve, impress your boss. You want to make your statement, provide value to the company that you're at. You'll be back. You'll be back next week. And so I got back to work, and, and kept moving. And that's a small example, but, don't I'm uncomfortable. We had some meetings or whatever. I'm uncomfortable. I was asked very difficult questions. I was in in front of the CFO. I was in front of the directors of certain things, and I had to answer my questions. I'm the only one that does what I do at my job. And I'm I got to define what it's like for me to provide value to this company and make a better life for myself. And this is my passion. I want to make this big, right? We want to make this big. We want to get the guests on. We want to interview them. We want to talk sports. We want to get the contributors in here. We want to make it a network. We want to make it the Shatter the Script network and have this run our lives. And the backup plan is a damn good one. We got good careers where we're at. And we're lucky to be able to come here and just talk and just BS through sports and talk about what we're passionate about. But yeah, I mean, let's get into some more sports. We've got the NFL draft coming up, and there's a lot of teams questioning about what they're gonna do. Obviously we talked about the Bears last time. With J.J. McCarthy and, Drake May and Michael Penix and all this stuff, there's always talk of like, okay, who is going to be, the draft pick that goes in front of the other? Who's going to be the first wide receiver off the board? Who's going to be this? And do you feel like with media, the way it's portrayed today, that they're kind of overanalyzing just to cause discussion throughout media to get clicks? Like, Drake May, all of a sudden, like, this dude was incredible in college, and now hindsight's 2020. We're looking back and saying, well, he wasn't in a bowl game, he shouldn't be, picked this high. But then you've got one side of the fence that says, oh yeah, he should be picked before J.J. McCarthy. But McCarthy doesn't throw. He ran a 70% run offense, and now obviously he's projected to be second overall pick or the second quarterback off the board. I feel like the way media is portrayed today is like a huge division to cause chatter, because impressions on Twitter and engagement on Instagram and views on TikTok all gain money because the United States is a corporation. You feel like that's the way that it is these days? Like, that's what we do, right? We shatter the script. We say the script on this guy is this, and that's it. There is no over analyzing it. That's how I think about it. I don't like to, I feel like there's too much politics around these young athletes that are, our age or younger, and they're about to go make millions of dollars. And dude, if I was an athlete, I'd probably delete social media. I mean, there's just too much.
So a good thing to say about it is there's probably every draft, there's probably about, let's say realistically, 10, 15 players who are actually, great players they can play in every situation.
Yeah.
Like, they're just great players or great football players. Let's say the 95%, the rest of them, they're all about where are they getting drafted to. It's all about, what situation they're going into. So someone like, I saw Colin Cowherd make a very good point about the quarterbacks. He said, Caleb Williams is the best prospect. He's going to be fine wherever he goes. Obviously, he's going to go to the Bears. And he said, the second best quarterback in the draft is going to go to whatever Kevin O'Connell gets, the coach for the Vikings. Whoever he gets, because he's a quarterback guru. It's like, all about what situation you go to. You got Marvin Harrison. He fits all the metrics. He's going to be a good player. Then you got Caleb Williams. He can make every throw. He's not the biggest quarterback, but he has it. Everybody else is kind of like, it's... And then linemen, a lot of linemen, you can just be like, oh yeah, he's going to be good. Honestly, if the Cowboys draft a lineman, I'm not tripping. They hit it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They hit it on the nail most of the time.
So it's really about what situation they go into. So let's just say Marvin Harrison Jr. might be he's the best wide receiver in the class.
Yeah.
But let's just say that Aaron Rodgers comes back, he's good, and he goes with, they get Romeo Dubes or whatever his name is, Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors, LSU.
They might have the better trajectory to the situation they're going into. So it's really about what kind of situation you're going into. It's, I think the best players in the draft right now is going to be like Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers, he's one of the best players in the draft, but he's a fucking tight end.
Yeah.
They saw what Kyle Pitts did, and
they're like, you measure based on other teams, like, how did this work for them when they drafted a tight end this high? Has anyone drafted a tight end this high in the top 10 picks of the first round? Is it worth it? Like, we had a big debate, and we don't have to get into this, but we had a big debate about, like, whether or not the Cowboys should have drafted Ezekiel Elliott 4th overall. Like that's a big discussion and argument between the Dallas Cowboys.
Made sense at the time.
At the time, like you're like, and we battled this for a long time. I was like, well, we could have had Joey Bosa or Jalen Ramsey instead. That would have probably been better for the long run. But you're like, no, they drafted him for Tony Romo. We had the team.
Yeah.
And you saw that when Dak Prescott filled in. The team was there, and yeah, it might have been his, I guess not the leftovers, but they were on the back ends of their career. It was kind of like a one last ride. Let's go. They went kind of all in on offense right here. And all of a sudden, hindsight's 2020, Zeke starts regressing every year, and they're like, oh, what a terrible pick. Or not a terrible pick, but it's like, oh man, it didn't work out. But they didn't want Tony Romo to break his back again. If Romo goes through that season with Ezekiel Elliott, the number one offensive line in the NFL, Des Bryant, Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, a top 10 to 15 defense, first or second place schedule probably.
And we saw how DeMarco Murray was when he had him, and Zeke's fresh legs.
People forget that was a trio or a quad, I guess you could say.
So I mean, it's kind of like it depends on what situation, because you want to. The thing is, you want to be prepared for the worst, but you really can't think about that when you're drafting.
No.
Like if you draft, let's just say the Chargers get, a weapon, and then Justin Herbert breaks his back or he's out for a season. They weren't planning on that.
No.
You draft the way your team is constructed. Once how your team is constructed is what you're going to do. Yeah, it might. You
kind of center it around their quarterback.
So basically, it's like okay, like think about this. Like maybe I would say a time the Cowboys did it was a short-term investment for the year, but a long-term in the long run was when they drafted CeeDee Lamb in the 17th pick in the first round. Did they need him? No, they didn't. But you get Amari Cooper, you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Gallup, you have Schultz. Dak Prescott, he fractured his leg. He completely messed up his ankle. So that stunted the growth, because then it's like they weren't planning on having Amari Cooper forever. The thing is that they had to sign him, because it's like, how were they supposed to know that CeeDee Lamb was going to fall to 17? They didn't know that. CeeDee Lamb was, thinking that he was going to be the second wide receiver taken. It was probably going to be Judy and then CeeDee. But what happened? It went Ruggs, then it went Judy, then it went CeeDee. Just fell to them. So they're like, okay.
And Ruggs was a bust.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened was, they did it. It was, of course, the injury to Dak, in a way, it slowed down that kind of pick, because it was made to where they would be. Maybe first year they don't win anything, but like they get that chemistry. Second year they have Amari, they have CeeDee, they have everything. Dak, he gets hurt, it pushes everything. Now it's like, okay, CeeDee Lamb, Dak, Amari, their first year is basically the second time around, and then it's like we can't keep Amari, but if we didn't sign him, what were we gonna do? We're gonna have, Gallup at the 1, and then we would have to figure out wide receiver. But then when you have CeeDee Lamb fall, like it's
You're
just
kind of protected.
Yeah, because he's a stud prospect, and obviously he's been as good as advertised. So when you think about it like that, it's all about situation. They weren't planning on Dak to fracture his ankle, so you have to think like that when you're drafting.
To expand on like the situation stuff, you think outside of like we're right there we're talking about building around a quarterback, building around the talent you have at that position. Well, there's other circumstances too where it's like a new coach was hired. It's a young gun kind of guy trying to make a name for himself. Sean McVay back in the day with the Los Angeles Rams. I got Jared Goff. He's got me to a Super Bowl before. But the way that I want to run my offense, I got to have a gunslinger. I'm going to go trade for Matthew Stafford. I'm going to go get my guy. And that's circumstance. It's situations like there as well. And what do? They go out and win a Super Bowl. They go all in, they kind of waste all of their draft picks with the trades or whatever. But the trade worked out for both teams. Jared Goff is very serviceable in Detroit, and they started building around, Dan Campbell in Detroit, I would argue, because right now they're not preparing for Jared Goff's future, in my opinion. they're preparing for, was it Hendon Hooker that's their backup from Tennessee, possibly him, and they get Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, they got him early. A lot of people, there were controversy about that. There was controversy about Jahmyr Gibbs getting picked that early. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. And then they start building a hard-nosed defense. David Montgomery, we're going to go get him from the free agency and get a bell cow running back kind of guy. And so that's an example of like, I'm going to build around the coach. The coach wants to play this way. We're going to build around that. But we have a quarterback from the previous coach, and we're going to use him as a bridge. That's one scenario. And then you get a guy like, the Packers. They come in, they have Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur comes in there. And Mike McCarthy obviously was there before, and they had some success. Well, LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, there was always reports. It was like Hollywood over there. We don't know if they're getting along. We don't know if their scheme really works for Aaron Rodgers specifically. And we got all these young guys in there. We got Alan Lazard, Romeo Dubes, Christian Watson, who the first year was like, oh my God, like this dude's message was insane, but he was a fluke. And we got Aaron Jones. Well, now look at them. They finally trust the process with Jordan Love, 3 or 4 years behind Aaron Rodgers. And he comes out throwing 30-plus touchdowns, beating the crap out of the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game, which nobody thought they were going to make the playoffs in the first place. They got the young Jalen Reed, the wide receiver, Christian Watson. They traded away Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Did he re-sign or is he gone? I think he's gone.
No, he's gone.
He's gone. So it's
they got Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Complete rebuild. We're going to build around Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. And we got the pieces across the board. And so, yeah, it's all circumstances, like the, Trevor Lawrence. We're going to build around Trevor Lawrence. We're not really going to build around Doug Peterson, but Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 overall pick, and he's a stud. Let's go get some guys. Calvin Ridley, that worked out pretty well. They had some injuries. They didn't plan on it right. So, but yeah, there's just different ways to handle it, from, there's owner, like the important things from each team. There's the owner, there's head coach, there's quarterback, and it kind of goes. It varies between hierarchy, I would say. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So anyway. But, yeah, I mean, then you got March Madness, I guess. I mean, we haven't really paid much attention to it. We're not big on March Madness too much. My theory is, over the past, 2 or 3 years, March Madness has become increasingly less predictable. I have a theory. I think there's always this, like a white kid that comes in there and just starts... He takes over the show, whether it be a friggin' mustache or some 3-pointers or whatever. There's always that. I think it's stupid. Don't believe this, but that they're plants. They're always the 16th seed that beats the number 1 seed. That's like, he's taking over the show. March Madness. This is crazy. And what does it do to your bracket? You guys out there that are making the brackets. What does it do to your bracket? First round, done, gone. And what happens when you get into the brackets? What you're betting on it. It's money. I think they're plans.
Yeah, the thing about, like I always say with
I'm wrong.
With anything, it's like you don't have to be the number 1 seed. It doesn't matter. You just gotta make it. Once you make it, you're fine. Because then you might get out coached. You might be the less superior team, but if you make it,
you're in.
What do you got to lose? You weren't supposed to make it anyway. So fucking go out there and ball out. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well. I guess, coming up, we got the draft. We'll keep monitoring the draft, and then what else is coming up? The Masters. The
Masters is, I think it's this week.
Oh, hold on. We'll finish out with this. Let's talk baseball, and then we'll wrap things up. Opening day. This weekend. We had the big, the banner reveal for the Texas Rangers. Just, I guess, to get it out there, I'm a Texas Rangers fan. You're a Houston Astros fan, so we'll be talking a lot and debating a lot for the AL West, which is super exciting. The fact that both teams are good now. You're over there shaking your head. What's on your mind?
0-4. Josh Hader gave up a run in the 9th inning. Jordan can't hit for shit. Valdez goes out there, throws 6 walks his first that game. Christian Javier played good. Fuck, we need to rebuild.
162 games in a season, 0-4, it's over, by the way. There was a lot of teams in there that started bad last year and ended up getting into the playoffs. And, look at the Seattle Mariners. watch out. You know, they're always going to be like 85 wins with their manager and their defense and their pitching. Like, it pisses me off. Every time we're playing the Seattle Mariners, I'm like, bro, like, come on.
Hey, but Wyatt Langford looks like that was a good pick for y'all.
Yeah, no, he exploded last year. Like, we picked him, I was like, oh, this dude looks like he can crank. You know, and he kind of reminds me of Paul Goldschmidt a little bit. He kind of bats the same with a mixture, like, he plays like Paul Goldschmidt, in my opinion. And, you know, you analysts, you know, there any Jeff Passans out there, you can score off. But it's like, he plays like Paul Goldschmidt, but he has a swing like Pete Alonso. And I think he just has more, you know, contact capability because Pete Alonso is strikeout and done kind of guy.
If he hits it, though.
Yeah, if he hits it, though, then it's, you know, 2001 all over again. But, yeah, like Wyatt Langford, he was damn near close to making the roster last year before. I mean, it made no sense to bring him up right before the playoffs. That would have been dumb. But, you know, Evan Carter made the cut. Young kid, 21 years old, and just starts banging. Like, the dude, dude was solid. And he's good. No, he's fucking good. What's crazy is in the opening day lineup, they had him batting 8th, right? You know, right in front of Leody Taveras. And I'm like, dang, you're going to put Langford at 5 and Evan Carter at 8, even though, like, I'm the type of guy that wants to put, like, an Evan Carter at leadoff. But, you know, of course, you got Marcus Semien.
Yeah, Semien.
Yeah, Marcus Semien, you know, out there, you know, leading it off. And so the Rangers, with their pitching, you know, Eovaldi, you know, DeGrom's should be back at some point mid-season.
Bradford had, like, 6 strikeouts yesterday? 6 or
Bradford 7? Did? Oh, Bradford's struggling.
I know John Gray struggled today.
And he's pretty good. I mean,
DeGrom.
We're missing our aces.
If I was the Rangers, I would just make DeGrom like a relief pitcher because he can throw you 2-3 innings, but man, his arm is just, it cannot go 7 innings no more.
Yeah.
And he still has when he plays, he's good, but his arm can't take it. I think they need to move him to like a relief.
Yeah, I think lessons should be learned. Like, you remember Steven Strasburg?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the amount of injuries he went through with the Nationals was insane. But he was a damn good pitcher when he could pitch. And he was, I think he was in the running for like a Cy Young for a little bit. He was like that good.
The best availability is being available.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you got Strasburg now, looking back, hindsight 2020, you know, you could make him a closer. You can make him a relief pitcher, like that 7th and 8th inning bridge pitcher and close things out. Like he would do similar in the playoffs. You know, Justin Verlander, game 6 or 7, we need a guy. He's not going to pitch those games because he pitched game 5. We need him. You know, come out here and throw 40 pitches for us and give us gas. So, yeah, I agree. Throw Jacob deGrom at relief pitcher. When he gets back, get healthy, his numbers will go up. He's still got the massive. That's probably a big reason why they don't do it. The money. They paid him the big contract. So you're kind of paying. That's like paying. You know, a high string quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes money, and expecting him to play backup quarterback or tight end. And you're like, what? That's like paying Tim Tebow Patrick Mahomes money and then saying, all right, we're going to sign him to the Jaguars on that contract and you play tight end. Taysom Hill, yeah. But he doesn't get hella quarterback money.
I think it's paid close to, I think it's paid 30, 40 million.
Which is, it's too much.
He's paid a lot.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into the Debo Taysom Hill allegations, but yeah. And then the last thing, I thought this was funny, and we're going to talk more baseball as the year goes on. You know, the Astros are kind of having a rough start right now. Rangers are, you know, they played the Cubs. That's kind of a layup. You know, the Cubs aren't that good, so we got out to a good head start. But did you ever see that Aroldis Chapman video?
Oh my god!
Thank God he's gone, bro. Oh my, get him out of there. What is it? We feeling titties? I mean, if we're feeling titties, that shit better not be on video.
I think that was his mom or grandma.
Yeah, it was his grandma.
I don't know what they're doing, and yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean, feeling up on them damn pancakes
and the
online.
The fact that he posted himself was crazy.
Yeah, like he voluntarily threw that on social media. Was like, this is a great idea.
Get him out of there.
Get him out of there. Get him out of here.
Get him out of there.
So, but yeah. So weird and disgusting.
It was a good pod.
That was a good pod. Yeah, this like we said, the first episode was more of a trailer, kind of introducing each other. We didn't even say like, I'm the host, you're the host, whatever. We just kind of went in and was like, hey, this is us. This is what we're gonna do. But yeah, we're freestyling, man. Like we got today we covered 4 or 5 topics in depth, good discussion, off the chain, no stats in front of us.
That's what we're here to do.
We know ball.
Gives a fuck.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah. Well, we'll be back next Sunday, and we'll be talking about whatever's relevant in topics. We'll continue to improve on, intro songs, a little the studio setup, bro. Like, it's only the beginning. Like, this was already like 20 times better than the trailer, in my opinion. Like, this was free flowing. It was good.
Yeah, give us some free feedback and then let us know what we can do better.
Yeah, and we'll get some clips out for you guys soon. We'll see. I got some clips ready for you guys. We're gonna get out to social media. That way, you guys can see us if you missed the pod. If you can't listen to the whole thing, you can catch the highlights on social media. But we'll be back next Sunday for episode 3. Keep watching, social media, and check us out on there. Shout out to your friends. If you know any athletes or anybody that would want to be a guest and just want to talk and give them their story, we can throw them on as an online guest and get rolling. So we will see y'all next Sunday. This is the Shatter the Script podcast. Hunter Poole and Jared May.
Happy Easter, guys.
Happy Easter. He is risen.